might look winded, but he's got good reason. He ranks in the top 10 in 5 statistical categories. His dominance, coupled with the return of Rod Strickland, has made the Spurs the team to watch in the Midwest. Last year, San Antonio was one of 3 teams to sweep Chicago. So tonight, revenge is on their minds. The Chicago juggernaut has won 7 straight, and their 31-5 record is their best ever after 36 games. Tonight, their bullish quest for 2 continues next on TNT. Welcome to frigid Chicago, Illinois, where it's going down to 10 below tonight. We're inside Chicago Stadium for tonight's NBA matchup between the Chicago Bulls and the San Antonio Spurs. Hi, everybody. I'm Pete Van Weren, along with Hubie Brown, welcoming you to Chicago. First meeting of the year between these 2 clubs. Last year, the San Antonio Spurs won both times. One of the few teams to have that kind of success against the defending NBA champions. A 4-point victory in San Antonio. They opened up an early lead, hung on in the 4th quarter. Very similar scenario when they met back here in Chicago in Game 2. A big early lead. They held on to win by 3. Both of these teams fresh from victories last night. San Antonio in Minnesota, a winner, and Chicago a big winner in Cleveland last night. But Hubie Brown, the San Antonio Spurs, sparked last year in this series by David Robinson and Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott comes into tonight's game a little bit iffy. Yeah,
he got banged up last night trying to dunk a ball in their game at Minnesota. As he came in and dunked, he dislocated his small finger, and also he will have it taped to the 2nd finger. He also has scraping on 2 other fingers. He is key tonight because he must guard Scottie Pippen and also draw time with Michael Jordan.
Now, when you talk about the San Antonio team, you're talking about one of the best defensive teams in the league, and that's where the effort's going to have to start tonight against Chicago.
Well, they'll be tested tonight, though,
yes,
Pete. We're talking about Chicago. They average 111 points a game. Now, you're going to see they'll be truly tested. Field goal percentage, only 42% against. Defensive rebounding first, we see that. Blocks because of David Robinson. They average close to 9 shot blocks a game, and they have held 21 opponents under 100 points. But tonight, this is their big test.
And Chicago, of course, has been able to counter almost anything thrown at them this year. How about tonight?
Well, they are the really well-rounded basketball team. Phil Jackson told us before the game that he's very concerned they did not have proper preparation for this game because they put so much into last night at Cleveland. He said, but, you know, we'll get after them today. The main key for us is to force the turnovers, get them out of their rhythm in that passing game, and then get into the open floor. And for some reason, I think they'll get that done.
We are looking forward to a good one here tonight in Chicago Stadium, the San Antonio Spurs and Chicago Bulls. Back with all the action in a little while. Next, Ernie Johnson comes your way from Atlanta.
The Spurs and Bulls coming right up on TNT. Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio. The overriding question this season has been who can challenge the Bulls for NBA supremacy. And the way the Cavs have been playing, they've given every indication they are worthy challengers. Last night, Cleveland and Chicago went head-to-head. Good ball game, too. Bulls leading by 4 at Richfield. In the 4th, Terrell Brandon has the shot blocked. The running of the Bulls begins. On the break, it is Horace Grant. The Bulls don't look back, winning 100-85. That's 12 straight Chicago wins over Cleveland. Now, Golden State's Chris Mullin described the game as terrible and brutal, but the Warriors still managed to win at Houston to stay atop the Pacific. Tim Hardaway had a triple-double, 27 points, 10 boards, 10 assists, including this pass from his back to Billy Owens for a deuce. Golden State took it 98-91. Don Nelson and the Warriors happy to get out of the Summit with a half-game lead in the Pacific Division. Now, in Seattle last night, the Sonics beat the Clippers, making it a winning debut for KC Jones' interim replacement, Bob Kloppenberg. L.A. lost more than just that game. Point guard Doc Rivers had to leave when he pulled a hamstring. You see him here after the steal. He'll reach for that left leg. He will miss tonight's game against the Hawks, and Doc Rivers could be out for 10 days. But when you're talking about injuries, you got to start with the Celtics. They've lost 3 straight with the Big 3 sideline. Larry Bird's back has the Boston papers speculating on his future. Kevin McHale still nursing a calf injury, but Robert Parrish, who went down with an ankle injury a week ago, is back in the lineup tonight. The Chief had a couple of points in the first quarter. Boston is up by 1 over Philly. Also a 1-point lead for Indiana over Orlando as they play in the second period. Straight ahead, Michael meets the Admiral for the first time this season. Spurs and Bulls next.
Pete Van Weer and Hubie Brown welcoming you back to Chicago Stadium. A look at tonight's Jeep Eagles starting lineups. For the visiting San Antonio Spurs, who come in with a record of 21-15, Sean Elliott will start along with Terry Cummings, David Robinson, and in the backcourt, Willie Anderson and Rod Strickland. And that familiar combination for the defending NBA champion Bulls, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Bill Cartwright, Michael Jordan, and John Paxson. Now here's the play where Sean Elliott was hurt last night. Well, first a look at the coaches. Larry Brown seeking his 600th career win. That counts in ABA days. He's the head of the San Antonio Spurs, now in his 4th year with them, and Phil Jackson in his 3rd year, winning about 74% of the time since taking over the Bulls, is the head coach of Chicago. Here's a look at the play now where Sean Elliott got hurt last night, dislocating the pinky finger on his right hand, and you had a look earlier at the brace that he's wearing. It's called a buddy tape. They tape both the 3rd and the 4th fingers together. It'll probably have more of an effect offensively on Sean than anything else. In fact, Larry Brown said tonight that if Sean Elliott tries to play with his 2 fingers taped together, it's going to be primarily a passing role offensively for him tonight.
Well, they need him from a defensive end because he is their key guy. And you know he's drawing Pippen first, and then also will get time with Michael Jordan. So you know he has his night cut out for him.
Ed Middleton, Jake O'Donnell, and Ron Olesiak are your officials, and we are set to go from a sold-out Chicago Stadium. Chicago trying to win their 8th in a row, an incredible record for the Bulls, 31-5. They've only lost twice here at home. And we're underway. Spurs will have a chance to get on the board first.
Well, San Antonio plays a passing game with the cutters coming from the opposite side of the floor of the ball. Anytime that things break down, they immediately go into a pick-and-roll situation. There it is right there.
And Willie Anderson takes the first shot of the night. Won't go for him. Rebound comes off the floor to Paxson. And now Chicago will try to break the ice here.
Now the Bulls are more methodical. They work out of a triangle set right there. They have a split. Now they pass extremely well. The big thing tonight for San Antonio, they must get back defensively.
John Paxson getting the Bulls on the board. They come into David Robinson with Cartwright on him. He spins around Cartwright, can't get the shot to fall. Rebound comes off the floor to Terry Cummings.
San Antonio, an excellent offensive rebounding team. The Bulls will have to work extremely hard there.
Cummings, who's been red hot for San Antonio lately, gets the first 2 of the night for the Spurs.
Well, Michael Jordan came across to block that shot, collided with either Grant or Pippen. Now I'm not sure because he came from the opposite side of the floor. As the dribbler, Terry Cummings went into the basket. His man was on the right-hand side of the floor. Michael Jordan comes from the left. Now just watch him coming down in here now. As he goes up, you see he collides with the elbow right in the face. Now you're going to see it right here with Scottie Pippen. Keep an eye on the left elbow with Scottie right there, and he catches Michael Jordan right in the face. Smart move by Cummings, realizing that there was a potential shot block. He brings it up on the other side of the rim. Now looks like Michael took it in the eye or right below the eye.
And this is, of course, the one fear that all the fans in Chicago have. They cannot lose for any length of time a player like Michael Jordan.
Well, Phil Jackson told us today that he was surprised that the ball club went 15-2 without Bill Cartwright. But
they would not go 15-2 without Michael Jordan. We can tell you that.
Or
He's
Scottie
all right.
Pippen.
Michael's going to be able to. He might have to take a couple of minutes off here at this stage of the game, but it looks like he will be able to come back and play.
Well, Chicago, when they're primed and they're zeroed into you, they rotate and cover as quick, if not quicker, than any team in this league. And also they have the shot blocking ability.
We are back to live action, and Bobby Hansen has checked into the lineup, replacing Michael Jordan, although it does look like Jordan will be able to return. He's got that ice over his right eye after taking the elbow from his own teammate, Scottie Pippen. Grant's jumper wouldn't go. Rebound pulled away by Pippen, blocked by Willie Anderson.
One thing tonight, Pete, you cannot go up there soft. Nothing weak. You must attack the rim and go for the strong dunks.
And there's Cummings, lost the ball on the way up. Trying to retain possession, but it's tipped away, and the Bulls recover.
We have great shot blocking at both ends. That will finally
for Horace Grant.
Horace Grant, the unsung guy in this ball club. He's not only up in points, he's up in rebounding, running the floor, and doing a terrific job defensively for Chicago.
Bulls up by 2 early. There's Cummings open along the baseline again, and he has his 4th point.
Now, he's had 4 solid chances here, Pete, and he's opening up. He can take his man off the dribble, that's for sure. But because Chicago double teams so much, he's becoming open.
And perhaps they'll go a little bit more to him than they normally do tonight because of Elliott's hand, which is going to prevent him from doing much offensively. Now Sidney Green checks in for David Robinson. And Michael's getting ready to check back into the Chicago lineup. Here he comes.
I'm surprised here. David Robinson is not injured. Larry Brown is talking to him about something which is happening at the offensive end of the floor.
Comes right back to Scottie Pippen for 2.
Now that's the way to send it home. Now you can see Larry talking to David, and it must be something which they talked about before the game, and then there has been some confusion. So he's taking him out now to get the point across.
Well, Larry Brown told us earlier he's going to get a pretty good feel in the first quarter tonight just how his team is going to fare tonight.
Well, I like their effort offensively on the glass tonight, but their shooting has been horrendous.
Cummings with the offensive rebound and the putback. He has all 6 San Antonio points. And we are tied.
Pete, you know Terry Cummings is happy that Sean Elliott might have a little bruise because that means more shots.
And they've tried to been equalizing those shots a little bit more in the big men for San Antonio. Cummings only averaging about 13 a game coming into this one. Outside jumper, Bill Cartwright wouldn't go. Rebound, Willie Anderson. Spurs doing a good job on the boards early. They can grab the lead here. And they do on the jumper from Sidney Green, his first 2.
Now, Sidney Green's playing great basketball. Larry Brown's biggest question, how can I get him more minutes? He's doing a terrific defensive job on post people. I like that call right there by Jake O'Donnell. They are not going to allow the defensive player playing a postman to forearm shiver the guy in the post. They're going to call the fouls early.
So Cummings called for that one. Here comes Stacey King into the Chicago lineup. He replaces Bill Cartwright.
Now the reason for this, Billy Cartwright missed 17 games because of a broken hand. He came back, he played 30 some odd minutes last night, so Phil Jackson is trying to ration his time a little bit here.
King pulled away the rebound, had the ball stripped away. Strickland on the break for San Antonio to Elliott, right back to Willie Anderson. And he stepped out of bounds.
Now here's a good example of your hand being taped up. Now Elliott should have attempted a layup that time. Instead, he made the extra pass and ended up in a turnover.
7:50 remaining in this first quarter. King operating, getting a hand on that one. Sidney Green, but they throw the ball away. Another San Antonio turnover. And it goes back to Chicago.
Now, San Antonio is your favorite team. They are exciting. They have the Admiral. You have great players on this team, but they kind of break your heart a little bit in the open floor. And there's a frustrated coach right there. When they're coming down, they might either score a field goal, hit a swish jump shot for a 3, or they might hit a guy in the mezzanine going for a beer.
Yeah, they do turn the ball over almost 18 times a ball game. In fact, only 3 or 4 clubs in the NBA turn the ball over more per average than does San Antonio. Pippen over Anderson. Gets the jumper to fall. Scottie Pippen, who's really become a complete player, now has 4 points, and we are tied at 8.
Going down the floor to pick up Strickland early is a good move. San Antonio is a very quick team when he's on the floor. When they substitute, they really slow to almost a snail's pace. Anderson over Pippen. Short with that one into the arms of Grant. Off to Michael Jordan. Achilles heel of San Antonio. Very poor perimeter shooting. Low percentages. Already tonight we're seeing they're getting the open shot. They can't score.
And speaking of open shots, Horace Grant with an easy 2. He now has 4. And the Bulls have the lead back.
Anytime that San Antonio double teams or they switch, you'll see Chicago releasing and going to the basket, resulted in 3 dunks so far.
The jumper by Green over Grant. Sidney Green has 4. He and Terry Cummings have scored all 10 San Antonio points. Michael's been quiet. That wouldn't go. Rebound pulled away by King. He was fouled by Green.
In last year's 2 wins by San Antonio over Chicago, Michael Jordan was consumed in passing the basketball to everyone else. Big San Antonio leads early. Chicago would fight back in the second and third quarters, and unfortunately for them, Michael Jordan shot poor percentages in the fourth quarter of both games.
Green and Cummings sitting down for San Antonio. David Robinson and Antoine Carr have checked in. Michael tries his second shot, and he's finally on the board. First two of the night for Jordan. Bulls up by 2.
See, I like the Bulls so far. They're hitting the perimeter, Jay, and any time that a switch occurs, they're going to the basket, and they're taking advantage of it for the high percentage dunks.
Strickland looking inside. David Robinson didn't know it was coming. There'll be 9 seconds left on the shot clock.
Well, they had eye contact that time, Pete, but David was moving out. Strickland had already committed himself to the high lob.
Antoine Carr trying to get away from Pippen, runs into Cartwright. Good defense by Chicago that time. First Pippen, then Cartwright comes back out to Strickland in the paint for 2.
Well, that you must stop. He loves going to his left. He can complete the play. You've got to force him to go to his right and try to keep him on the perimeter.
9-12. Cartwright will take it. Wouldn't go. Rebound, David Robinson. Off to Strickland. San Antonio can grab the lead back. Sean Elliott's first offensive effort of the night pays off. His first 2.
Larry Brown, big smile, clapping his hand. You know, nice shot. He's trying to get Elliott to take the shots no matter what. If you're open, take them, Sean, even with the bad hand.
That time, the Bulls turned the ball over.
That was a beautiful pass. Billy Cartwright got caught looking for the rebound of the shot rather than looking for the pass.
Spurs leading it 14-12. Under 5 minutes to go now. First quarter. Will Perdue getting ready to check into the Bulls lineup. Anderson got into the paint and traveled.
Well, it's interesting here. The last 2 times down the floor, Pete, San Antonio has tried to play 3-man basketball. By that we mean taking 2 players, putting them on the opposite side of the floor, up above the 3-point line, and only involving 3 of your guys. They look for a little pick and roll action, and then let's see what Chicago will do when they'll play off of that.
Right now, the defenses of these 2 very good defensive clubs. That's been the controlling factor in this first quarter. Purdue's shot wouldn't go. Fans here at Chicago Stadium looking for a foul call. Didn't get it. Sean Elliott. Strickland trying to work his way around Paxson. The open man, Willie Anderson, will take it. And the baseline jumper good by Willie Anderson, his first 2 of the night.
Now they're getting that 10 to 12-foot jumper on the sides, on either side, because Chicago is so quick in their double teams on the dribbling.
Strickland with a steal. And it's a block from behind by Scottie Pippen.
Remember we said you can't put anything up there soft tonight. Too many shot blockers in this game at both ends of the floor. That young man is playing great basketball. Scottie Pippen, 6'7" at his best. Just watch to the left. He eyes Strickland up, and you can see him coming right into your picture right here. Just a great play. We're going to show you San Antonio in the open floor. Now, this is the shot which has been open for them on a number of occasions. Now, you say, well, why? Why can't they complete the fast break? The reason is that the Chicago defense, their transition, they're getting back quickly, protecting the lane. They're doing an excellent job. They've had 2 guys back every time. But what opens up now is that 10 to 15-foot jump shot, which is extremely difficult from the wings. But it is a shot that Cummings and Elliott can make.
B.J. Armstrong is checked into the Bulls lineup. Perdue intercepts the inbounds pass. Off it comes to Michael. And he'll take it over Anderson. Wouldn't go for him. Rebound off the floor. It still belongs to the Bulls.
Now, speaking with Phil Jackson, he indicated that he would use 3 centers tonight. And already in this first quarter, you've had Cartwright, King, and Perdue at that position.
Was thinking about another steal, but Michael kept it away from B.J. Armstrong. Couldn't get the jumper to go. Robinson pulls away the rebound. San Antonio trying to score their 8th straight point here. They lead it by 4. 3.5 minutes to go first quarter.
Great defense that time by Pippen. Elliott, one of the best in the league with the head fake.
Antoine Carr hits the open jumper. He's averaging 10 points a game off the bench. He has his first two. It's a 6-point lead now for San Antonio.
He's playing with a lot of confidence, Pete. He came here from Sacramento. 2 years of scoring over 20 points.
Will Perdue hits the jumper from the top of the key. His first two. That ends an 8-0 San Antonio run.
Now there's a young man having a great year. He steps in. He's very physical. He can make that jump shot, and he's very dangerous with the hooks down in the lane.
Trying to tie up Strickland. He gets rid of it finally to Carr. And it comes to the Admiral, and David Robinson got fouled on the way up.
The quickest team on the traps in this league, Chicago Bulls. When they trap you, they give you a strong trap. It's difficult to pass out of. If you find the free guy, which they just did there in Carr, they rotate so quick, you're going to have to make the second pass.
First trip to the free throw line for either team tonight. David Robinson averaging 23.5 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, leading the league in block shots, 5 block shots a game. In fact, he is in the top 10 in 5 categories, the top 6 actually in 5 categories: points, rebounds, field goal percentage, steals, and blocks. A remarkable player. His first 2 points of the night, a 6-point lead for the Spurs.
Well, this is a Spurs tempo. They love the fast break in the open floors, and they can finish. Now at this end, the Bulls have got to just stick to their offense and continue to get good shots.
Diego Donald's whistle away from the ball.
That time we had a forearm. There was a back pick.
Willie Anderson.
The wingman was cutting off the back pick. Willie Anderson straightened him up with a forearm.
Armstrong really coming along off the bench in his reserve guard role. Has his first 2 of the night. He's averaging almost 11 points a game in a reserve role.
Shooting extremely well, but the most improved part of his game, the defense.
Greg Sutton, who's checked in, the rookie out of Oral Roberts. Over to Sean Elliott. He's hit a couple of those jumpers, so apparently that hand not being bothered at all. At least in this first quarter.
San Antonio, David Robinson and Sean Elliott are their first 2 options on all of their sets.
A 6-point San Antonio lead, under 2 minutes to go now in the first. There's Perdue's second bucket of the first quarter.
Antoine Carr fell asleep. You cannot fall asleep guarding Will Perdue. He's extremely active. You say, yeah, but he has slow feet. That doesn't make, as long as you read that defensive man correctly and you move when he turns his head, that's all that counts.
22-18, San Antonio by 4. David Robinson's jumper over Perdue. He loves to take that jumper. You can't leave him unguarded out there. He's got 4.
See, Will Perdue will give him that shot because he's not going to let him embarrass him off the dribble.
Michael working on Willie Anderson. Fall-away jumper. How many times have you seen him do that? He has 4.
Willie Anderson right on top of him. The elevation, and then the 45-degree angle.
There's no way. There's no way to even get a hand up.
That's right.
A 4-point lead for the Spurs. And a steal there by B.J. Armstrong.
Great defense by Pippen. Recovering, cutting him off, and forcing that pass.
5 turnovers apiece in this first quarter. 45 seconds to go in the quarter. Michael's jumper wouldn't go. Rebound comes off the floor. Antoine Carr finally comes away with it.
We're seeing great defense, Pete. You better be working tonight, moving your feet in the offense and the defense.
Oh, Sutton, a long-range 3-pointer. You getting him on the board.
You got to get out and guard him. You know, that's his 42nd. He's 14 for 22.
Horace Grant has 6 in this first quarter. 27-22. Spurs will have the final possession, they hope, with a 5-point lead here. And this game so far going along the lines of the 2 meetings between these 2 clubs last year. San Antonio enjoying the early edge.
High pick and roll either side for Sean Elliott.
Vaughn almost lost it. Out in 3-point land again. Sutton taking the shot. It bounces over the backboard. And now there'll be a 2.5 left in this first quarter for Chicago.
You can make a catch and put it down maybe for 1 dribble. But it's safe for you if you make the catch and turn, pivot. You can even get in a head fake and still get off a good shot.
It'll be inbounded by Will Perdue. David Robinson with a steal as the quarter comes to an end. So the San Antonio Spurs leading at 27-22 after quarter number 1 here in Chicago Stadium.
Show you a pick and roll situation right here by San Antonio and how quickly the Bulls trap. Now just watch what we mean by saying a hard trap. See, once they trap, now watch. Now you're going to see Scottie Pippen come on the rotation and pick up Carr once the ball is passed. But then what we said, watch the second pass to the man coming into the area. There's your first pass, your rotation. Here comes David Robinson, and how quickly the Bulls react.
And quarter number 2 is underway with Chicago trailing by 5. They have the first possession. Michael Jordan left unguarded. Top of the circle, wouldn't go for him. Strickland pulls away the rebound for San Antonio.
Now Strickland gives them another rebounder. He's averaging over 4 a game.
Antoine Carr operating in heavy traffic. Will Perdue pulls away the rebound. Gets the outlet out to Scottie Pippen. B.J. Armstrong back to Pippen. He lost it, recovered, and scored a 6-point.
See, with this group on the floor for San Antonio, Pete, they are extremely slow. You could see that 3 guys went to the offensive board, only 2 back.
Strickland couldn't get the jumper to fall. They still battle for the rebound. Strickland comes up with it, trying to overhead it to David Robinson, stolen by Scottie Pippen.
4 on 3. There he is.
And the foul committed by Paul Pressey underneath. His first.
See, when you run the passing game and you get caught underneath 5 guys below the foul line, you have got to get back quick. Now you're going to see Perdue is the trailer. Now anytime that you have a 4 on 3 fast break, the 3 guys back will always pick up the closest guys to the rim. The key though is the 4th man, the trailer, coming down the middle of the floor.
This is the first trip to the free throw line by Chicago tonight. And Will Perdue is the man at the line. Scott Williams checking in now, replacing Horace Grant. Back to your remark at the beginning of the game with Phil Jackson talking about how little preparation time Chicago had for this game. They were so zoned in on that game last night in Cleveland, so much being made of that matchup with the Cavaliers, and they handled it very nicely, winning it by 15, but not a whole lot of time to really even look at the San Antonio team.
Well, Phil Jackson's word is focus. We were not able to get focused.
He said he didn't get his first scouting report on San Antonio until the plane ride back from Cleveland last night. Armstrong stepping out of bounds. That's 7 Chicago turnovers already.
When you have David Robinson defending for you versus Scott Williams, who just came in the game, there is no need to look for the double teaming of the post. That time Strickland was fortunate because his man backdoored on the baseline and was wide open, but fortunately for San Antonio, he stepped out of bounds.
Pressey gets it across the timeline, takes it all the way in, comes up short with a shot, gets his own rebound, puts it back short again. Off Williams, still belongs to San Antonio.
Now remember we said earlier, the test tonight is when your point guard breaks the foul line and gets down into the painted area to the basket, either Pressey or Strickland, and that shot goes up. If Chicago can hold them to 1 shot and kick out, they are going to have numbers on the fast break at the other end of the floor.
Elliott trying to go 3 for 3, misses his first one. Still a 2-point San Antonio lead with 10 minutes to go in the half.
Okay, Will Perdue working hard, doing a nice job.
Pippen got away from Cummings. Jumper wouldn't fall for him. There's Robinson pulling down another rebound. His 5th. Spurs have yet to hit a field goal. They are 0 for 6 from the field. Pressey trying to change that. 0 for 7 in this quarter. And Robinson fouled on the way up. He'll get a trip to the line at least out of that.
Now this is our 3rd game, Pete. You and I working these San Antonio teams. When you have a guy like David Robinson, who's in the top 4 guys in the league in field goal percentage, he averages 23 points a game. The guy can't get a catch. They refuse to go to this guy down on the box area. Now that's not taking advantage of your key horse. Now you can see right here, he ranks 4th in the league in foul shot attempts, and also we have Michael Jordan, so we have 2 of the best in the league. You know that anytime he's got Perdue or Williams on him, he can take them in the low post or even just kick them out on the side and let him take them off the dribble at will.
He only makes 1 of 2 from the line. He has 5 tonight. And it's a 3-point San Antonio lead. Double Royals checked into the San Antonio lineup. Cliff Livingston, who has the ball now, in for Chicago.
Now, this was inevitable. With this group out on the floor, you have the second unit with Michael Jordan. And what they're going to do is run Michael into the post area and then work off of him. Force San Antonio to double team, open up your outside perimeter shots, or let Michael go one-on-one down inside.
Cummings trying for the steal, had it, stepped out of bounds with it. Boy, both teams, it's evident in this first half, really having to work tonight offensively. There's a lot of defensive pressure being applied by both San Antonio and Chicago. And here comes Vinnie Johnson getting ready to check into the Spurs lineup.
Pete, this is a big game with two great teams playing one another. Both emphasized terrific defense, and they did not have a chance to prepare for the game. San Antonio in Minnesota last night, and then naturally the Bulls were in Cleveland. Neither team had a chance to work out today.
Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Trying to get it into Cliff Livingston. Instead of the turnover, the 8th of the first half for Chicago.
That's a good idea, though. They had Strickland playing Livingston in the hall.
Pressey's three-point effort wouldn't go. Williams the rebound off to B.J. Armstrong.
Now you're shooting, coaching San Antonio. You're shaking your head. Can we please get the basketball to the guys who are supposed to get the shots here?
Michael from three-point line. That's his 13th three-point basket of the season. He's hitting about 24% of his three-point efforts. And that has tied the game at 28. And it comes to Robinson. And he drew the foul. Go to the line. Cliff Livingston got him. That's a little more to Larry Brown's liking.
Yeah, Phil Jackson very concerned about the pick and roll. He realizes that San Antonio will emphasize this anytime that they feel that their offense breaks down. You must do a good job in trapping it and in rotating.
Upcoming NBA action on TNT. We've got a couple of games coming for you next week on TNT. The Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers on Tuesday night. Bob Neal, Doug Collins will have that one for you. Then 1 week from tonight, right back here in Chicago, Detroit takes on the Bulls. Bob Neal, Hubie Brown will have that one for you. Robinson only 1 of 4 now on the line.
But Pete, that's the only weak part of his game. He only shoots 72% from the foul line.
Along the baseline, back out to B.J. Armstrong. 8 minutes to go in the half. Good patience displayed that time by Scott Williams to get his first 2.
All of the centers that post up for Chicago all have the baseline spin moves, and they do a nice job in taking their time on their shot.
An 8-1 run by Chicago has them back on top by 2. Royal has the ball stripped away by Michael Jordan. And a collision underneath Royal and Livingston.
Larry Brown loves Royal. They picked him up out of Notre Dame a few years ago. He's very quick off the dribble. Now he's 6'8". Larry likes the fact that he can back up Sean Elliott, give you good defense, has size, can take you off the dribble, will go strong to the basket. He's been playing overseas since his graduation from Notre Dame.
That's only the second free throw made in 5 tries by the Spurs in this second quarter. San Antonio still without a field goal as Hansen checks in, giving Jordan a breather.
Phil Jackson rotating his people in short spurts during this first half. This is the most substitutions I've ever seen doing the Chicago Bulls.
And some guys that normally don't get a lot of minutes getting quite a few minutes in this first half. Guys like Williams, Perdue playing a little longer than he normally does in the first half. Armstrong into Perdue, who got himself away from Robinson.
Think tonight how many times we've seen a big man set a pick on a pick and roll. San Antonio traps it. The guy rolls and he's wide open for a layup. Where is the third guy on the rotation?
Bulls leading it by 3. San Antonio 0 for 8 from the field in this quarter. And Scott Williams called for the foul, his first.
We're going to show you the pick and roll. Now just watch as the ball is caught. And we're going to see as Perdue comes in here. Now watch him roll to the basket. Now here comes the pin. Where is the third guy? You cannot just rotate. You've got to rotate and cut off the lane to the basket.
Terry Cummings made his first free throw. He'll try the second one after this timeout called by the Spurs. Pete Van Weer and Hubie Brown back with you at Chicago Stadium. Bulls leading at 32-30. A reminder that TNT tomorrow 4:30 Eastern Time. The road to Albertville. This week's show previews the alpine and downhill skiing events and the bobsled. Join Ernie Johnson for the road to Albertville. That's tomorrow 4:30 on TNT. You can see San Antonio 0 for 8 and only 12 for 31 for the game now. But it's still only a 2-point Chicago lead.
They were looking good because they were in the open floor. Chicago was struggling early. But now that the game has become half court, we're seeing they're struggling because they're ending up with all these long jump shots. Anytime that you run an 0 for 8, 0 for 6, 0 for 10, you tell your guys, will you please go down inside, either off the dribble or go into the post game so that we can possibly get fouled and get some close. Even if we miss, the rebounds will be close shots and we can get some second shots.
Chicago has outscored San Antonio 10-4 in this second quarter. A near steal by Strickland off the fingertips of B.J. Armstrong.
That was a very good call. You had to be right on top of that. That was made by Jake O'Donnell.
So San Antonio with a chance to reclaim the lead here if they can get a field goal.
They're running baseline action for Vinnie Johnson. 2-man game. Green and Johnson.
Green finally hits one for the Spurs. He now has 6 points. San Antonio has the lead back by 1. 6.5 to go in quarter number 2.
All they do is score or get fouled, Pete, anytime that they go into the box area with a post-up guy.
And it comes to Pratt down low. And a whistle and a foul call against San Antonio. It is on Donald Royal.
We brought up a point a few minutes ago, Pete, and that is that when you play the Chicago Post people and they receive the pass, you must prepare first for the spin moves to the baseline.
Only the second trip to the free throw line for Chicago tonight. Boris Pratt has really become one of the unheralded players. You don't hear much about him because of the overshadowing on this ball club by Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. But Larry Brown knows all about him. He says he fears him as much as anybody on the Chicago team. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Hubie Brown and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game.
Well, to back that up, Pete, he's shooting 58% from the floor, 76 from the line, and he's doing a terrific job for them in the boards. He's averaging over 10 a game. So, and he's drawing good defensive assignment. Now here's the full court press. Larry Brown very concerned with this today. He says we must beat it and make them pay. There you go.
They made him pay that time. Vinnie Johnson hitting Donald Royal. Royal now has 3 on this quarter. And the Spurs have the lead back 35-34.
See, a lot of teams, they just take their time against the Bulls and they play right into their hands by not attacking the press.
Stolen by Cummings.
Give it up.
Cummings got away from Williams. Grant picked him up, but Terry Cummings still able to hit the open jumper. He now is in double figures with 10. The Spurs lead at 37-34. Chicago has turned the ball over 9 times in this first half. They only average about 13.5 turnovers a game. And the foul call, the second of the quarter and of the night on Donald Royal.
Now we're going to give you the full court press after that foul shot. Now once the ball comes in, the Bulls are outstanding in trapping quickly. They have many shot blockers. They have Horace Grant on the ball. But now watch, get the ball into the middle of the floor and attack with your wing people. You'll always have a 2-on-1 on the back guy in the trap.
Greg Hodges checking into the lineup for the first time tonight for Chicago. Scottie Pippen's also back in. Cliff Levingston and B.J. Armstrong out of the game now.
Greg Hodges, the forgotten man, only averaging 5 minutes a game this year.
Hansen finds Pippen. One of the most valuable additions to the Chicago team this year, Bobby Hansen.
They love his size, 6'6", hard-nosed defensive player. very intelligent. That was all eye contact. Ball fake, go back door, throw the lob.
1-point San Antonio lead. Loose ball picked away by Williams. Off to Hansen. And Chicago with a chance to reclaim the lead here. Hodges for three. That's his specialty. He'll be in the three-point shooting contest again this year on All-Star Weekend.
Earlier today, Billy Cartwright said to me, Hodges isn't getting any time, only a couple minutes a game, but he's ready to go down there and win that three-point shooting.
And he just gave me a little display of that fine touch he has from outside. Bulls up 39-37. Here's a guy trying to refine that fine touch. Vinnie Johnson. He's only shooting at a 31% clip since signing with San Antonio, but he hits his first one tonight to retie the game at 39.
See, a good addition for the Bulls was picking up Hansen from Sacramento. 6'6", can play small forward or second guard for you.
Grant works on Cummings, and Cummings going to be whistled for the foul. Terry's second.
One negative about the San Antonio defense tonight. It's been very easy for Chicago to get the ball into a post guy. Only occasionally are they playing them on the side and discouraging the pass. Chicago's getting the ball in deep, and they're making them pay for that.
At the line, Horace Grant. He now has 9. A perfect 3 for 3 from the line. And here's the improvement in the numbers on Horace Grant this year, but a lot of the intangibles just as important. Larry Brown said it seems like anytime a ball is loose, Horace Grant is always there. Besides his rebounding and scoring.
Talking to Cartwright, I said, what do you think is a big difference over this ball club? And he said, Grant and Pippen's offensive awareness. You talk to Paxson, they tell you the same thing. Everyone said both guys have really matured at the offensive end within the half-court offensive sets.
41-39, Chicago by 2. Sidney Green hasn't missed.
Hey, Sidney's doing it here tonight.
He's 4 for 4 from outside. And we are tied again at 41. Hodges. That was just inside the three-point line. He now has 5 off the bench. Bulls by 2. We are seeing a lot of bench minutes tonight for Chicago. Hansen right on Vinnie Johnson. He'll try to work his way loose. He's hit 2 in a row.
Vinnie Johnson is telling Green, get out of there, get out of there. Green is going, I'm not getting out of there. Pass me the ball, I'm hot.
So is Vinnie.
Yeah, right.
43 all. Closing into the 3-minute mark here in the first half. Stolen by Strickland. The basket is good, and he was fouled by Hodges.
You always tell your guys, if you are going to foul, make sure you get his arms before they get up above the shoulders. Great steal here. Now here you come. You're hustling down. You do not want a flagrant foul. You get in front, Hodges. If you're going to foul him hard. Do not allow the ball to get up above the shoulders.
So Hodges called for his first at the line. Rod Strickland. He has 4 points tonight. He also has 7 assists. He's averaging 8 assists a game since finally signing that contract. He hasn't played in enough games yet to rank in the NBA's top 10. But if he continues to average 8 a game, he would right now rank 8th in the league.
He's playing a healthy 37 minutes a game.
Hodges again. That time it wouldn't go. Interfered with a little bit by David Robinson.
Look out. Jake O'Donnell down. Looked like a pulling guard from the Washington Redskins.
He is still smiling about it, because he knows that every highlight film on every local TV station in every market tonight will show Jake O'Donnell's spill. We've got a timeout with 2:37 to go in the half. Spurs leading it by 3, 2:37 to go. Coming up at halftime, our Prudential halftime report. Ernie's in our Atlanta studios with scores and highlights featuring the 76ers and the Celtics meeting tonight, and the Magic and the Pacers. Also the Friday Flash, which will look at buzzer beaters, and the new Air Hair commercial. The Prudential halftime report coming up shortly.
Now we're going to show you Jake O'Donnell on a move down the sideline. Jake said when he was younger that he was much quicker. But I don't know. I think we got a little twinkle toes there, right there. Jake falling. Fortunately, the break went to the middle of the floor, Pete.
His 2 partners, Ed Middleton and Ron Olesiak, coming over during the timeout to make sure we had that. We did. 2.5 minutes to go. Jake still smiling about it as he is the trailer on the three-man crew this end of the court. Hodges. That was a three-point effort. Wouldn't go. Perdue out-hustles Sidney Green for the rebound.
The long arms. He's 7 foot, long arms. He plays behind you, and he just reaches up over the top.
Well, Perdue with 6 rebounds off the bench for Chicago.
This has been a great matchup. Elliott and Pippen all night.
And a little chip shot missed by Grant. Rebound pulled away by San Antonio. Vinnie Johnson. Sidney Green is perfect still. He's 5 for 5, 10 points. And a 5-point San Antonio lead.
Say the San Antonio bench have come in here now and given big numbers.
They've got perfect shooting from Sidney Green, perfect shooting from Vinnie Johnson.
Nice pass.
Strickland just did save it. The 2 big names tonight, David Robinson and Michael Jordan, fairly quiet so far in this first half. Green finally missed one and missed it good.
I think he'll take 5 or 6 field goals and 1 air ball every time beat.
Scottie Pippen thinking about it from three-point land as they close in on the 1-minute mark. Gets inside the 3-point circle. His shot comes up short. Strickland having a good first half, both on the boards and with the ball. Scottie Pippen picking up his second.
San Antonio once again now, they're in gear. It's their tempo. They're holding the Bulls to 1 shot, getting out in the open floor, making something happen. They are putting incredible pressure on the Bulls transition defense. You got to give the Bulls credit. 3 guys are fighting back and getting into the painted area.
And for 2 guys on the San Antonio team, this is a return home. This is one of them, Rod Strickland, who played right here in Chicago at the Paul. Terry Cummings also, of course, out at the Paul. So they like to play well when they make a return to this city.
See, when you get Strickland, he's giving you 37 minutes. He's giving you 8 assists, and he's giving you the 14 points. You expect that. But what you do not expect, he's averaging 5.3 rebounds. Now, for your point guard to get that, a lot of teams are happy with a small forward getting you 5 rebounds.
Spurs up by 7, tying their biggest lead of this first half. And the illegal defense whistle from Jake O'Donnell against San Antonio as Paul Pressey checks back in, giving Strickland a breather here.
Larry Brown knew that they were going to trap Michael Jordan, but Sidney Green got caught down inside as the 3rd guy to trap him.
Very quiet first half for Michael Jordan, 7 points. Greg Hodges, after making his first 2, has now missed a couple.
He's forced the last 2. He did not get set on either release.
The Spurs up by 7. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Green got another one to fall. He is 6 of 7 from the field off the bench. He has 12 points, 9 straight San Antonio points. They lead it by 9.
Now Sidney's given us 2 excellent post-up moves for field goals.
And the whistle underneath will be against Sidney Green. That's his second.
Anytime that you trap Michael Jordan in this game tonight, there is a free guy. And that man has been going right to the front of the rim. And every time that it has been a front court player, meaning a Perdue, a Pippen, or a Grant, they have been able to get the dunk or the foul shot attempts.
At the line, Horace Grant. He's a perfect 4 for 4. 76% free throw shooter on the year.
Chicago.
Anderson back in.
Chicago, very unselfish team, Pete. They're averaging 28 assists a game. That's 6 more than their opponents. So you know that they play a good half-court offense. You know they're a good transition team, but they are exceptional in delivering the pass in traffic.
Well, if you were able to see that game last night against Cleveland, you got a real good example of just how unselfish they are. Always willing to make one extra pass to find the open man, and they beat you.
Now here's the press again.
And right now, Chicago down by 7 in the closing seconds of the first half.
Now this time it's a man-to-man press. The last time it was a 1-2-1-1 zone press.
And about a 1-second differential. Shot clock, game clock, shot clock down to 10.
I see. The Bulls are good at this. They trap you and force you to stop.
And David Robinson's good at that.
And Strickland did make the right decision.
7 points for the Admiral, trying to beat the clock. Scottie Pippen shot wouldn't go and will not count.
Eddie Middleton had that one all the way.
We'll get a second look with the clock, but San Antonio will take a 9-point lead into the locker room at halftime.
Now you're going to see the release of the shot. Now keep an eye and look for the red light on the board. You see it's up higher. I'm sorry that we couldn't give you that one. But Eddie Middleton was right in front of the scorer's table with the horn and had it all the way.
An excellent first half by the San Antonio Spurs. Ernie Johnson standing by with our Prudential Report.
24 minutes at Chicago Stadium where the Bulls trail the Spurs by 9. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Prudential Halftime Report. Having played the last week with the heart and soul of their team watching from the sidelines, the Boston Celtics could use a little good news, and they got some. Robert Parrish came back tonight. Still, the Celtics are without the services of Larry Bird and Kevin McHale as they host the Sixers. The Chief is back, but not much in the mood for jumping. Opening tip, watch the Chief get up there. Chris Ford says, Robert, next time you want to get up just a little bit, maybe take a cue from Jeff Ruland, who's got that sledgehammer touch as he knocks it out of bounds on the jump ball. Big night for Robert Parrish. He makes a scoring plateau, the 20,000-point mark, working on Charles Shackelford. How many times have you seen that turnaround soft jumper by the Chief? And it goes. Reggie Lewis, the big man for Boston, though, sticks with it after the block. 17 points in the first half. The Celtics and Sixers wrapped up in a good one at the parquet. They're in the third period, and the score is tied at 64. Well, that traveling MASH unit known as the Orlando Magic is making a stop at Indianapolis tonight. Sidelined with injuries, you got Dennis Scott, who's missed the last 16 games, Brian Williams, Sam Vincent, Otis Smith, Stanley Roberts. Orlando's lost 20 of its last 21, but GM Pat Williams has tried to maintain his sense of humor amidst all the bumps and bruises.
Some of the NBA officials have pointed out that in all their years, never have they seen extraordinary circumstances like this. We started the year well. We were 500 at the end of the first month in that area, and then it all began to fall apart. We had Dennis Scott went down, and then from that point, they were dropping like flies. You know, our team bus was an ambulance at one point, and our team picture was taken. It turned out to be an X-ray. I mean, these are the kinds of things that are going on with our club.
Boom, boom. Now to the highlights at Market Square Arena. Rick Smits working on Greg Kite. Where's he going to go? He's going to go right around him and use the glass. Rick Smits for 2 for the Pacers. Orlando got Scott Skiles back. His second game after missing 5. He's got a soft cast on his left wrist. He broke a bone in that wrist. Nothing soft about his game, though. Takes it tough through the lane for 2. They got a 1-point lead. But Indiana shoots 73% in the first half. Everything was going in, even Vern Fleming's high banker. Right now, they're in the third period. Indiana has an 81-74 lead over Orlando. The Knicks and Milwaukee Bucks just about to tip it off at the Bradley Center, and later at Sacramento at Phoenix as they finish up a home-and-home. Charlotte tries for the first time to beat Portland, and it's Atlanta and the Clippers at 10:30. When the Prudential Halftime Report continues, we will present some NBA odds and ends with the Friday Flash. And remember, we'll tip off our coverage of All-Star Weekend 3 weeks from tonight. It's All-Star Friday night, February 7th, as we preview the weekend. On Saturday, it's the NBA Stay in School special. And then it's All-Star Saturday night on the 8th, featuring the Schick Legends Classic, the American Airlines ITT Sheraton Shootout, the 3-point contest, and the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship, February 7th and 8th. At Chicago Stadium, the Bulls hosting the Spurs on TNT as the Prudential Halftime Report continues. This week in the NBA, a coaching change in Seattle, a 24-hour turnaround for Charlotte. The spotlight shines on Cleveland, and Michael Jordan meets his newest teammate. It's all coming up in the Friday Flash. The Cavs had won 11 straight and were a dazzling 15-1 at home, but Clyde Drexler and the Blazers stole one at Richfield Coliseum Tuesday night. Drexler scored 34 in Portland's 7-point win. Still, all eyes were on Richfield Thursday for the Cavs showdown with the world champion Bulls. Michael Jordan's 35 sparked a 15-point Chicago win, leaving the Cavs 6.5 games back in the Central Division. In Seattle on Tuesday, K.C. Jones coached what turned out to be his final game with the Sonics before his Wednesday firing. It was an overtime loss to the Charlotte Hornets. The hero, Larry Johnson, he won it at the buzzer. Charlotte picks up its 4th road win. The Hornets found themselves on the other end of a buzzer beater the next night. At the Great Western Forum, Sam Perkins, the hero for the Lakers. He gives L.A. a 2-point win as time expires. Meantime, Laker legend Magic Johnson spent some time with the president this week, taking his HIV message to the White House. Johnson will be honored next month with the retirement of his number 32 as he joins the elite Laker company of Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Kareem. Magic appeared in 11 All-Star games, and while he hasn't played this season, he remains one of the leading All-Star vote-getters. He is second only to Clyde Drexler in the Western Conference balloting, leaving the NBA to make a decision on his status when balloting concludes Sunday. There were a couple of all-star caliber performances this week. Miami's Glenn Rice followed a 31-point effort against the Bucks with 35 last night in Washington, while Dennis Rodman racked up 41 rebounds in 2 games, 21 against the Mavs on Monday. In that game, Joe Dumars provided some last-second heroics. His three-pointer with 1.8 to play gave Detroit a 3-point win. Dallas remains the only team winless in the new year, 0-8. They're mired in a 10-game slump, while Chicago remains a picture of consistency, 13-2 in November, 11-2 in December, 7-1 this month. It's got to be the shoes, right? Well, that brings us to the latest Nike creation featuring Bugs Bunny, Hare Jordan, and Michael Jordan in a 60-second spot that debuts on Super Bowl Sunday. Of course, all kinds of hilarity and hijinks on the set. The spot took 5 months to create with 6,000 separate drawings to team up Bugs and Michael Jordan.
That's all, folks.
Well, that's my line.
So you can look for Hare Jordan on Super Sunday. You can look for Air Jordan in just a minute or two as the Bulls and Spurs start the second half in Chicago. And a reminder, we're back at you Tuesday night here on TNT with a Pacific Division collision as the Lakers and Trailblazers duel on Tuesday night. And the countdown to Albertville continues. Our coverage of the 16th Olympic Winter Games begins on February 10th here on TNT. Hansen back with you in our Atlanta studio. We have time to hit the scoreboard before we send you back to Chicago Stadium for the second half of the Spurs and Bulls. Philadelphia and Boston are now in the 4th period on the parquet. We told you earlier about Robert Parrish cracking the 20,000-point plateau. The Celtics have a 73-70 lead. They're playing again, of course, without Larry Bird and without Kevin McHale. The Orlando Magic and Indiana Pacers, I tell you what, Scott Skiles has gone mad in this game. They're early in the 4th period. The guy has already broken his career high in points. He's got 36 as they play early in the 4th. Indiana leading 86-83. Here on TNT, the San Antonio Spurs and the Chicago Bulls. In Chicago, a high-powered offense but being held in check by a very good San Antonio defense, 54-45 at the break. Let's go back to Chicago Stadium to Pete Van Weeren and Hubie Brown, guys.
Okay, thank you, Ernie. It's obvious, Hubie, that Chicago has still got a lot of basketball left in them in the second half, but they are not invincible at home. San Antonio showed us that in the first half tonight.
I'm kind of surprised that they're 10 turnovers, Pete. That's out of character for them. They only average 13 a game. They went 11-2 on the minus side in the last 3 minutes. And then Michael Jordan only has 7 shot attempts. Now, if they're going to get this job done, they really better pick up the action and get him involved.
Take a look at some of the numbers in the first half. You can see that San Antonio really killed Chicago inside and also out-rebounded the Bulls.
Well, we said that's there for them. The 7 for 20, they do that almost every night. The rebounding has been excellent for the second shots, especially early in that first quarter.
A real scare for Chicago early in the game when Michael Jordan went down due to the elbow of his own teammate, Scottie Pippen.
Watch the left arm of Pippen catch Jordan right in the face. Excellent move by Cummings, bringing it up on the other side.
Sent to the bench for about a minute and then came back and played.
Now this play right here, the pick and roll where San Antonio traps any big forward or center going to the basket for the Bulls, has been open. Why? The third guy in the San Antonio is late getting on the rotation. Now here against the press, they're going to bring up Strickland, let him take the trap. Keep an eye on Vinnie Johnson coming into the middle of the floor, and then also Green going long and Elliott going long. Now here it is. Once the ball comes in, all right, now you're going to see the trap with Grant. They fake it, all right, they bring it back, and now excellent ball movement, diagonal passing, and there you have it at the other end of the floor. You must make the pressing team pay the price by attacking.
Now there's that turnover number you were talking about, Hubie. 10 for Chicago in the first half. They average only a little over 13 per game. And you can see how the San Antonio bench has really picked them up in the first half. A 54-45 San Antonio lead. Sidney Green, a big part of that bench in the first half.
Well, you know, Sidney's best year that he ever had statistically was right here for Chicago. He averaged double figures and also did a great job for them in rebounding. Now, you can see he's off to a good start tonight, but once again, Larry Brown said that he is having a terrific season for us.
Unusual in this game is that this game right now is going right along the lines of the scenario set by Larry Brown when he talked to us earlier today of the two meetings between these two teams last year. Spurs opening up an early lead, Michael Jordan trying to get other people involved, then Jordan trying to take over the game in the second half and falling short both times. Well, the third quarter's underway. We'll see if that happens here tonight.
They need Cartwright to get off and going a little bit so that they would get the double teams down inside. Billy struggled in that first half. He was 0 for 3. He only played 5 minutes of action. But like we said at the top, Phil Jackson very concerned over the fact that he played over 30 minutes last night versus Brad Daugherty, and especially after he missed 17 games with that broken hand.
Let's see if Michael can get on track here in quarter number 3. And we need to, at some point in the second half, address something that's getting all kinds of ink all over the country, and that is Chicago's chances of winning 70 games this year. Been an awful lot written about that lately, and Phil Jackson, for one, not really sure that this is the right time to even be thinking about anything like that.
Well, his comment was that let's wait until after the All-Star break. We have 12 games, 6 in 9 days, 6 in 8 days.
Plus a 6-game West Coast road trip.
That's right, and 7 of the 12 are on the road.
Michael Jordan tied up by Terry Cummings.
I think if you are a regular Bull watcher and you've had a chance to see them play a lot this year, they take it to the basket more in other games off the dribble than we're seeing tonight. Now, you must give San Antonio credit because they have not been beaten easily tonight. That was a very tough move by Jordan.
The foul was called from behind on Willie Anderson after Cummings tied up Jordan. Jordan at the line, his first trip to the free throw line tonight. An 83% free throw shooter, the league's leading scorer, the league's leading just about everything. He can do it all.
Well, you know what's interesting is that the foul shooting attempts are down. For his career, he's averaged over 9 a game. This year, he's down around 7.
He now has 8 points tonight, but Chicago still down by 8. Now down by 7 to San Antonio. Jordan has 9, 54-47. Let's see how San Antonio deals with the press in the backcourt in this third quarter. Strickland had an excellent first half.
Yeah, I thought we'd see more of this early.
And there's a San Antonio turnover forced by the Chicago defense, and there's Michael. Foul by Robinson.
Billy Cartwright did a terrific job on Robinson that time, and then forced him as he came out of there, you know, with a big turnover. Now, the one thing here is Larry Brown is quoted many times saying David does not pass well out of the traps, and then a great move as he goes airborne. Michael Jordan at the other end. He's not going to allow the shot to be broken.
Jordan back at the line. He now is in double figures with 10.
Here comes Michael on the double team. David Robinson is leading the Spurs in turnovers at 3 a game. But then again, he commands so much double teaming.
Jordan 4 of 4 now from the line in this quarter, has 11 points in the game. Spurs up by 5 early in the third.
Now, so far in this third quarter, all man-to-man full court coverage. We know they're at their best when they trap in the backcourt.
Sean Elliott hits the jumper. He has not been bothered really at all tonight by that dislocation of the little finger in his right hand. He's got 6 points, but he's been very accurate from outside. Paxson, his second field goal, his 4th point. Back to a 5-point San Antonio lead.
Now that has been missing tonight. But then again, Paxson only had 2 shot attempts before that one.
Willie Anderson. Jordan tried for the steal. That gave Anderson time for the shot, but he missed it. And Horace Grant pulls away the rebound. They can get back to within 3 now. And they're going to Michael.
Plenty of time. 8 seconds.
Pippen working on Strickland. Robinson comes over to help. They find Grant underneath. He got the basket. Drew the foul.
That was an ill-advised double team. The offensive player was going nowhere with his back to the basket. By Robinson leaving, once again, the Bulls find the big forward who is in good position to make the catch and the score.
And a chance for a three-point play and a chance to pull the Bulls back to within 2. They've outscored San Antonio 8-2 in this third quarter. Brad still perfect from the line. He is 7 for 7. 2-point San Antonio lead. Now Michael applying some backcourt pressure.
They'll come down, pressure you, take some time off the clock, force your offense to start further out. Already we're inside of 14 seconds.
Cummings over Grant. Short. Rebound comes out deep. Pulled away off the floor by Cummings. Lost it out of bounds. Still belongs to San Antonio. Much to the dismay of the Chicago crowd. And that man, Phil Jackson.
By coming down and pressing off the foul shot speeds, it's interesting. Every shot that San Antonio has taken against the press has been a long jump shot this quarter.
Robinson trying to create something inside. Couldn't get it to fall. Rebound finally comes out to Scottie Pippen. San Antonio getting back well on defense. They had 4 defenders back that time, and Chicago's going to have to run a play here. Michael Jordan's first field goal of this third quarter. He now has 13. We are tied at 56.
But how about the shifting of the hands over David Robinson? Now just watch this. I elevate, I switch hands, and I bring it back. And
timeout, San Antonio.
Softens. We're going to show you the transition where Michael Jordan comes down and a little behind the back here to Paxson. Now we know that when they are really cooking, Paxson at his best, spotting up on the side, receiving a pass from either Jordan or Pippen.
I'll tell you my favorite Paxson number in a moment. First, back to live action. Strickland in the paint. We're going to have a jump ball.
I tell you, I don't agree with that one at all. Mainly because he was able to break it and spin. Now just watch. There's no travel involved here. He takes it right to the hole. I would say not a jump ball. They didn't stop his progress. He was able to just break it with strength.
That'll be Paxson going up against Strickland, and the tip controlled. Paxson got a hand on it, but it's controlled by San Antonio. Rod Strickland looking inside, trying to hit Elliott underneath, and a whistle against Chicago this time.
When San Antonio goes into that passing game and a player is on a designated side of the floor, like that time on the right, you must be prepared for the cutters coming from the opposite side into the lane.
Strickland hits the open jumper. Rod Strickland with 9 points, and San Antonio has the lead back, 58-56.
He's having a beautiful game.
Cartwright working on Robinson. This is something you've been looking for a little more of, Hubie, and David Robinson shows you why there hasn't been much success for Chicago with that tonight. There's the block. There's the basket by Strickland.
Now that at the opposite end was a strong move by Cartwright. Shot block by David Robinson. And then there they go in the open floor. Now you see, anytime Robinson blocks the shot, you know, he keeps it in play. And then they always try to get the ball to Strickland. You must make him give up the ball.
He missed the free throw. He has 11 points and 8 assists in the ballgame. 60-56 Spurs by 4.
Now that is their 5th miss. They're 9 for 14. This could be a big thing as this ball game moves on. The foul shooting.
Down to 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Down to 3 seconds left on the shot clock. And a foul, even though Michael had to force the shot to beat the buzzer.
Now Willie Anderson catches him on that one. Not Willie Anderson, the double team man. Willie Anderson played him as well as you could off the dribble. He forced Michael to take a bad fall away angle shot. Now you're going to see this. See, Willie's playing him good, and he forces him back. Now just watch there. There it is right there. Terry Cummings coming in.
That's his 3rd foul, by the way.
Second half, as long as he doesn't get number 4, Pete.
So Michael Jordan at the line. He is starting to come to life here in the third quarter. But San Antonio is still up by 3. While Michael's at the line, back to my favorite number on John Paxson. He's a starter. He averages 35 minutes a game, but he is a pure perimeter player. He's only been at the free throw line 12 times all year, Paxson has. He is pressuring Strickland now. Brings the ball down. San Antonio up by 2. Under 8 minutes to go in the third.
See, I like this strategy by Chicago because they're taking a lot of precious minutes of the seconds off that shot clock.
Elliott inside for 2. Sean Elliott now with 8 points. He is 4 out of 5 from the field.
Now, you know what happened there? Cartwright made a pass to Pippen, who was running down the outside lane, and he had his head down. He was not looking for the pass.
Strickland walking the ball down. 7.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Cummings behind the screen, finds Robinson underneath. Nice play between Cummings and Robinson, and David Robinson now has 9.
That was a great pass by Cummings. He accepted the second trap and made the pass.
Larry Brown telling us he's getting much more comfortable with that phase of his game after being primarily a scorer much of his career in the NBA.
Michael giving us a little through the legs. Come on.
Spurs by 6. Now 4 seconds left in the shot clock. Jordan's jumper wouldn't go. Rebound, Terry Cummings. Strickland to Cummings. Trying to get free of both Pippen and Jordan, and drew the foul from Scottie Pippen.
He loves that side of the floor, Terry Cummings. He's excellent with the jumper. You must get out and play him, but he's very talented at putting the ball down on the floor and giving you the head fakes.
That is Pippen's third. Cummings at the line. He has 10 points. And while he's shooting him, let's take a look at tonight's GMC Truck Scoreboard. Other action in the NBA. You've got the Celtics with all their injuries still leading Philadelphia. Indiana up by 5 over Orlando in the fourth. Just underway in Milwaukee. .58 San Antonio.
Oh, you hate to see that happen when you're coaching. Everyone is supposed to be going and assuming that the shot is missed. Nice.
But it wouldn't go for him, and Horace Grant is there for the rebound for Chicago. Spurs by 7. 6.5 minutes to go. Back underneath to Grant for 2. 17 now for Horace Grant. It's a 5-point Spurs lead.
They've been consistent all night. They've made that pass. They take the trap, deliver the pass, nothing but layups.
Greg Sutton in to give Strickland a breather. Robinson, who much prefers facing the basket than he does posting up against the big man. They're working his post-up game. He got caught traveling that time.
Well, that's because Cartwright is a good defensive center, and he got away with a major bump, knocking Robinson back off of the spot. And you're going to see it right now. Now just watch as he puts it down. You'll see Cartwright. There's your bump right there. A rookie or a player in year 1 or 2 with no reputation
gets that whistle every time. Every time. Play a little ragged that in, and Paxson's going to try to beat the buzzer with a three-pointer, and he does. John Paxson now with 7. And that pulls Chicago back to within 2.
Yeah, he's only 4 for 19 and threes this year. That's kind of surprising.
Cummings posted up against Grant. Paxson comes over to help.
It's a good move. Sutton's an excellent three-point shooter.
Catherine came up short, though. Cummings pulls away the rebound. Robinson open from 10 feet. That wouldn't go. Scottie Pippen the rebound. Chicago can tie it up here.
In the first half, San Antonio helped themselves 9 offensive rebounds.
Jordan got sandwiched between Sutton and Elliott.
Remember, we said at the top of the show, Sean Elliott was needed in this game tonight because he will also draw Michael Jordan. That was just a great move. And Elliott got, he got away with the first bump, but not the second.
Second foul on Sean Elliott. Rod Strickland back in for Greg Sutton. At the line, Michael Jordan, who spent a good part of this third quarter at the free throw line. 6 out of 6 from the line, all in this quarter. 15 points in the ball game for the league's leading scorer, Michael Jordan. He can tie it up if he makes this next one. Cartwright sits down. Stacey King coming in. Here comes Antoine Carr to replace Terry Cummings.
Remember, during Michael's career when he would go 40 minutes, 40 minutes the next year, 40 minutes the next year, 39 minutes the next year. All of a sudden last year he only goes 37 minutes. He averages 31 a game. This year 38 minutes, and he's leading the league again in scoring.
And you can see in that last close-up of him, his nose bleeding a little bit. That might be the result of that earlier blow. He might have gotten bumped again. He had ice up against his cheek again during that last timeout. After running into his own teammate, Scottie Pippen, in the first quarter. We had a loose ball foul called underneath.
Antoine Carr. He's upset with himself right now. He felt that, you know, he gave a great move. Grant elevated. He got the shot off. He left it short. He was looking for the foul himself. Now just watch it. See, he gets Grant up. See, he felt that Grant caught him right there. Then he gets it for coming over the top. Now, he definitely fouled on that loose ball foul. Now, how much did Grant bump him? We've seen a lot of that go tonight, Pete, without any fouls called.
Yeah, they have let a lot of contact go tonight with no whistles. Morris Grant at the line for a couple. He has not missed from the free throw line yet. We were talking earlier in this third quarter about free throw percentages and how that might really come into play. It's beginning to now. Well, Chicago has missed only one free throw all night.
We have two bad foul shooting teams here. San Antonio only shoots 74%. The Bulls only shoot 75%. But tonight, the Bulls are making them, and San Antonio's missing them. They missed a very important 5.
Bulls are 18 of 19 from the line. San Antonio 10 of 16. Chicago up by 2. A near steal by Pippen. And there is the steal by Michael Jordan. It's a 2-on-1.
Look out.
San Antonio is going to have to stop the clock here and try to stop this Chicago surge. They lead it by 4. A 20-second timeout called here by Larry Brown.
Nothing excites this crowd more than Pippen and Jordan on the break. This is where they break your heart, because both of them can elevate from that foul line, and then they send it down with authority.
Chicago has run off 11 straight points to open up a 4-point lead. And Michael Jordan, who was so quiet in the first half with only 7 points, has really come alive here in quarter number 3. He has 12 in the quarter, 19 in the game. It is 69-65.
It's so difficult to keep Michael quiet because he will eventually get off his 20 shots. He's averaging 21 shot attempts during the year.
Once again, the backcourt pressure applied by Chicago, beaten quickly. They've got Sidney Green, who had a good first half, 12 points. Just one away from his season high. Back in the San Antonio lineup, along with Strickland, Elliott, Anderson, and Carr. Strickland is going to take the outside jumper and nail it. Rod Strickland has 13 points tonight.
They stay with that. And if Paxson's going to switch and try to play Sidney Green in the post, you know that could be good for you.
Down to Grant, working on Carr. Michael on Anderson, down to 5 seconds left in the shot clock. Jordan just inside the 3-point line, couldn't get the jumper to fall. Willie Anderson the rebound for San Antonio. They can tie it up again.
They've got to push the ball and make some things happen in the open floor.
Almost thrown away that time. Anderson gets into the paint, back outside to Elliott. That shot not even close. And Michael Jordan comes away with it.
He hurt his hand. Elliott hurt his hand. You can see him grimacing right now.
And Michael makes him pay on the other end. 21 points, 14 in the quarter for Michael Jordan. It's a 4-point Chicago lead. San Antonio taking a timeout with 3:14 remaining in quarter number 3. And this crowd coming to life now. 71-67. Bulls have the lead back. They have really turned it up a notch here in quarter number 3.
Now just watch as the ball catches the corner of the board. There's your collision right there. And it's a hip pointer for Sean Elliott, not the pinky finger, which is dislocated.
Yeah, that's been bothering Sean for more than a few games, but he's been playing with the pain. Larry Brown said he's one of those players that no matter how much he's hurting, he tries to stay in the lineup. Very rarely misses one. Another steal. This one by Paxson. Paxson is going to get a trip to the free throw line. That's something you don't get a chance to see when you come to a Chicago Bulls game. This will only be his 13th and 14th free throw attempts of the year. Antoine Carr called for his second.
Now Chicago doing a great job playing the passing lanes. Now, this is a 3-on-1. The reason why Paxson takes it all away, Carr did not commit to take away the lane. He was trying for the shot block all the way.
Paxson missing the first one. He gets there so rarely. He is now 8 of 13 for the year from the line. That's what he's done tonight.
John feels that the club is much better defensively this year. And also, he feels that Horace Grant is the unsung player. He's been having a sensational season.
72-67. Chicago by 5 under 3 minutes to go now in the third.
Now, Strickland is doing a terrific job ball handling wise all night, Bob. I mean, he's really made a lot of things happen here.
Get the jumper to fall from left to the lane. Scottie Pippen the rebound. Chicago doing a much better job on the boards in its third quarter than they did in the first half. Maybe one pass too many that time by Chicago. The loose ball controlled by Strickland to Willie Anderson. Anderson had his shot blocked. And they're going to call the offensive foul.
What a great defensive play. Once again, Scottie Pippen. Now just watch this. You think you're going past Jordan, but here comes Pippen again. Now that should have been a goaltending. That ball hit the backboard. And then he picked it off as it came off the backboard. You're going to see it right here. The ball hits the board, then the shot block.
And Chicago could open up a 7-point lead if they can cash in this trip as we close into the 2-minute mark in quarter number 3. Michael Jordan, who's got it going here in the third. Couldn't get that one to fall. He's missed a couple of jumpers in a row now, but Scottie Pippen with a rebound. And a fresh 24 on the clock for Chicago. And Strickland and Pippen.
Watch out.
Get ready to go at it.
Yes. Uh-oh. Now it's Strickland and Pippen. We were blocked out here because it was down on this right-hand sideline on the initial move. When Pippen saved the ball and gave it to Paxson, then as San Antonio switched, we're calling a timeout here right now. Good call by Chicago. Strickland then grabbed Pippen around the waist. Pippen turned around and then said something to Strickland, and then that's when it happened. Now we're going to give it to you. Now keep an eye on this. Now you see there's a bump. Here's you see he's got him right around the hip. Now this he caught him with his elbow. That's what he's complaining about. Now naturally, you don't like to see that happen because neither team can afford to lose either guy here. Now then all of a sudden Eddie Middleton in this, see Pippen coming over the top, and then we end up into the stands.
Tell you what, Ed Middleton really took a little bit of a beating there as he tried to control Scottie Pippen. He's over at the scorer's table now.
Well,
making his ruling.
The main thing that happens is that Strickland grabs him around. Strickland grabs him around things first, and that's what started the whole thing. It'd be better if we could back this replay up all the way, and then we could show it to you how it happened. Once the ball is handed off to Paxson, Strickland switches right here and picks up Strickland. Now watch how he holds him right there. Now watch his right arm. Now watch what happens. He hits him, pushes him off with that forearm. Now Strickland isn't happy with that. He says something to him, then he pushes. Now Pippen is going to retaliate and come back out on top here, and that's when Eddie Middleton intercepts Pippen and tries to keep him out of there so no punches are landing.
And here's what he ruled on the fouls. A personal foul called against Rod Strickland, a technical foul called on both Scottie Pippen and Rod Strickland. Pippen will go to the line to shoot 2 on the personal foul. And with Chicago leading at 72-67, a lot of members of this crowd still on their feet, wondering if the ill blood is going to continue once play resumes here with 1:56 to go in the third.
The reason why Pippen is shooting here is because San Antonio is in the penalty.
Been restored. The timeout taken by Chicago to let everybody cool off, hopefully. And at the line, Scottie Pippen. 8 points tonight. His first trip at the free throw line. He's a 77% shooter from the line this year.
So as you look at it, Strickland grabs Pippen around the waist. Pippen tries to get away. The right forearm flares out and catches Strickland. Strickland tells him about it. He didn't like it. They talk to one another, naturally saying nice things. Then we get the push, and then we have a little action.
It's a very short conversation.
Yes.
73-67. Bulls up by 6, and Strickland handling the ball. Hears about it from the crowd.
See, this is smart. Trap them in the backcourt. You've only done this one time. Force them now. We're inside of 7 seconds already, Pete.
And every time Strickland touches the ball, he's going to hear this. Down to 3 seconds left in the shot clock. Sidney Green trying to beat the clock. Comes up short. Grant the rebound. Bulls on the run. Up by 6. Michael. It'll be goaltending. Count the basket. 2 for Michael Jordan.
Good call.
16 points in the quarter. 23 in the game now for Jordan. The Bulls up by 8.
He's just loping along here, just picking the right spacing. See, I like this. See, this is good. See, they've got them flustered.
They really turned it up a notch defensively, and they're making him pay. Michael.
Yes. See, they have not had to do this in very many games this year. But when they are executing the trapping in the backcourt, there is no team better because they're so electric when they turn you over with Jordan or Pippen coming on the break.
And they're trying to do it again, but the long pass to Sean Elliott beats it this time, and Elliott finally silences the crowd by hitting the jumper. He has 10, but it's still an 8-point Chicago lead.
But that's okay. You want them to take the jump shot against the trapping.
Under a minute to go.
The rim was down.
So the adjustment to the basket made. 16 seconds left on the shot clock.
That was an excellent observation by Jake.
That really was. To spot something like that. I mean, it only comes down about, what, an inch? That's where it was anyway when Jake spotted it. Michael Jordan has put on quite a clinic here in the third quarter after being very, very quiet in the first half.
If you play behind Michael and he receives the ball down inside, you know he's on a roll right now. There's a frustrated coach. You know, he's upset. What does he want? He wants Michael Jordan for an offensive foul, jumping into the chest of your defender. But for some reason or other, Pete, I don't think we're going to see that call in this building tonight.
Well, if we do, you'll hear the loudest reaction from the crowd of the night. Michael Jordan has 19 points in this third quarter and 26 points in the game. Will Perdue checks in, replacing Stacey King. It's a 9-point Chicago lead. You can see some of the blood from that bloody nose on the jersey of Michael Jordan. He took that blow to just above the right eye early in the game, but it certainly hasn't affected him much, has it? 27 points now for Michael. A 10-point lead. Strickland hears from the Bluebirds as he walks the ball down for San Antonio. Sean Elliott, 8 points in the quarter, 12 on the night. His outside shooting has been fine despite the hand injury.
Well, Elliott, Cummings, and Green have hit the baseline jump shots. That's a difficult shot. It's not all the way in the corner. It's a medium shot. Now here comes San Antonio with the press. Let's see what happens.
Over to Strickland.
3 on 2.
That's Cummings coming through the lane, and he got sandwiched between Perdue and Jordan.
Heady play by Rod Strickland.
Foul, his third.
He had a 2-on-2, but he caught the trailer, Terry Cummings, coming down the floor. He allowed the opposite player to open up the lane by going away, and that gave a highway for Terry Cummings to the hole.
And now a chance for a little bit of a stop to the Chicago run. Spurs got that jumper a while ago from Sean Elliott. Now if Cummings can make his free throws, they're back to within 6. 12 points now for Terry Cummings. Pressey checks in, replacing Strickland, who hears from the crowd again. Not a very happy return to his former collegiate home.
Well, Terry Cummings missed 11 games this year with the injury, and he's had to get his body in shape when he came back. Larry Brown has a problem now because you have Antoine Carr, Sidney Green, and also Terry Cummings trying to get time at that big forward position.
Chicago trying to beat the clock. And they will not. The horn horn sounds, ending quarter number 3. A very impressive quarter by the defending NBA champion Chicago Bulls. But the Spurs staying alive at 79-73 Chicago after 3.
The fourth quarter coming right up from Chicago Stadium, but first let me show you what happened in the closing ticks at Boston Garden. Celtics up by 3, 98-95. Johnny Dawkins steals the inbounds. Here's a chance to tie. Sir Charles, no. Big scramble here, but Boston hangs on for a 3-point win on the parquet, 98-95 as they snap a 3-game losing streak. Now back to Chicago Stadium.
Hey, thank you, Ernie. There's your score. And we've said it before, Hubie, when we've had Chicago on these games. There are times when Chicago looks absolutely awesome, and they just demonstrated that in the final 6 minutes of the third quarter.
They're so great defensively. In the open flood, there's no team better because of Jordan and Pippen. But San Antonio shot themselves in the foot. 8 for 20 from the field, plus 5 turnovers. No, you just can't get that done.
And they're going to have to cope with that press right off the bat here in quarter number 4. Down by 6. After being outscored 34-19 in the third quarter. In fact, Michael Jordan outscored San Antonio 20-19. David Robinson has had a quiet night, really. That's only his 11th point. But it's back to a 4-point game now.
Now, Jordan was quiet in the first half. No catches, no shot attempts. In the second half here, if you didn't know that David Robinson was here in the third quarter.
We've mentioned his name hardly at all.
Absolutely. Doing anything.
Scottie Pippen for 2. His move to the hoop gets him 11. It's a 6-point Chicago lead. Pressey gets it across the timeline against B.J. Armstrong.
See, with them pressing you the full game, you can't complain at the other end of the floor. You got to get back.
And obviously Larry Brown is trying to get David Robinson more involved, but instead the turnover is the result, the 14th of the night for San Antonio. Remember how Chicago had 10 turnovers early in the third quarter? They've only turned the ball over twice since then. Yeah. And San Antonio now has 14 turnovers.
Chicago so quick to trap David Robinson.
Still plenty of time. 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Will Perdue working against David Robinson. Wouldn't go. Robinson the rebound.
This is what they need. They've got to push the ball and try to get something. This is where they've been explosive tonight, pushing the ball. But when you got Vinnie Johnson and Pressey in the backcourt, you have no quickness.
Vinnie Johnson. Larry Brown told us he has not made a layup all year since signing with San Antonio. He just missed another one. And we're going to get a whistle in the backcourt, a loose ball foul called on Vinnie Johnson. That is his first. He's had a little trouble getting his physical conditioning down since re-signing. He hasn't been quite as accurate with his outside shooting, and Larry Brown thinks it's because his legs aren't really back yet.
He has a knee problem as well as bursitis in the hip. Now, Strickland is back in the game. They're giving Sean Elliott a blow. They're playing Pressey at the small forward position.
81-75. Chicago by 6. 10-19 to go in the game. Scottie Pippen down to 5 seconds left in the shot clock. Bulls are really having to work for their shots in this fourth quarter, but will stay right on this end because of the whistle and the call against Pressey.
Pressey played him really tough that time, forced them to reverse and go with the pass to the corner.
That's Pressey's third. Want to remind you to stay tuned for Inside the NBA with Hannah Storm. All the scores and highlights from tonight's action coming up next on TNT. Inside the NBA right after tonight's game. With Chicago leads 81-75. 10 minutes to go. There's Scottie Pippen's nice move. The tip by Perdue wouldn't go. Perdue gets it back again. Puts it back through the foul. And all of the hard work and drills that Will Perdue does every day with Tex Winter paying off there.
And then there's old Tex Winter right there. He spends a lot of time before the games and practice. Now just watch as that ball goes up here. You see Perdue right up there. Now what? The long arm. See, he's in there. He'll take the body punishment. But that's what you want. Anytime that you're in traffic down inside, send it home strong.
And it's a double-double now for Will Perdue. He has 10 points, 10 rebounds.
Everyone in the building wanted to charge that time. On that side of the floor, Jake O'Donnell had that perfect. He was right on the baseline and could gauge that sideline. That was dangerous. That was pretty close.
Bulls leading at 84-75. Pippen just picked up his fourth foul. Here's Strickland hearing it from the crowd again after that little run-in with Scottie Pippen. Robinson runs the double team outside of Vinnie Johnson. Johnson takes the jumper and will get a trip to the free throw line out of it anyway. As Bobby Hansen fouled him. That's his first. Steve Van Weer and Hubie Brown with you from Chicago Stadium. San Antonio controlled this one first half, but it's been all Chicago in the second half. San Antonio trying to stay alive, give themselves a chance here.
Vinnie Johnson struggling. He missed the first 19 games of the season. When he joined San Antonio, he gets a hip problem, then he gets a knee problem. Larry Brown stated today he's having trouble on the lift on that jump shot. And you brought up an excellent point, Pete, and that is he has not completed a layup yet this year.
84-77. His value really for the most part has been his assistance, almost as an assistant coach. Bobby Hansen's first two of the night. 77-86. The Spurs down by 9. In Chicago, here's Strickland outside to Cummings, whose jumper wouldn't go. Rod Strickland comes away with another rebound. Back to Cummings, over to David Robinson, working against Perdue. No whistle, no basket. Rebound out of bounds, still belongs to San Antonio. But Larry Brown has told us that with Vinnie Johnson on the ball club, he gets a lot of assistance from Vinnie, repeating things to players that Larry's been telling his players, but maybe what they haven't been listening to as closely as they should.
Well, he also has helped them at the defensive end of the floor, of how to play screens and that, going back to the theory of what Detroit and how Detroit plays the half-court defense. San Antonio cannot get this done unless David Robinson gets his offensive game together this week.
Giving him every opportunity to do just that. He'll get a trip to the free throw line as he was fouled there by Scott Williams in second.
But you notice he's not extending himself. He's not attacking the rim with any kind of authority on a dunk or a two-handed dunk. The shots are coming out of his chest, Pete, and these guys are getting a chance to either deflect them and then also muscle him around. Now, last year, San Antonio beat Chicago twice. Why? Because David Robinson played great in both ball games.
Yes, he did. He averaged 15 rebounds a game. He has 10 rebounds tonight. His shot blocking has not been there. He's only blocked a couple. Neither is his free throw shooting. He's only 4 for 8 from the line and has just 12 points. 86-78. Bulls up by 8. 8:45 to go. Elliott's back in the game, guarding Michael Jordan. That's an impossible shot to stop right there. When he gets that one going, there's no way of stopping Michael.
You can see he wanted it, Pete. He had the double team that time. Vinnie Johnson came out on him, but he was shooting.
This time they go inside to Terry Cummings for his first field goal of the second half. He now has 15 points. Bulls up by 8. Michael is now at his season average, 29 points. Only 2 of them coming in the second half. Hansen for 3.
Will Perdue over the back.
But David Robinson pulled it away from him. Vinnie Johnson over Hansen. Vinnie Johnson gets the jumper to fall. He now has 8 points, having one of his better games from the field since signing with San Antonio, but it's still a 6-point Chicago lead.
San Antonio, Green, Carr, Vinnie Johnson. Larry is hoping by playoff time that they're all in shape, because that's a lot of playoff experience guys for him that should be able to give you points and rebounds.
It's bench much deeper this year than it was last year. In fact, you found an interesting note about all the San Antonio players from a year ago that are playing elsewhere this year. Something like 7 of them.
There are 7 guys that they have released, waived, that are on other NBA teams right now.
They keep going to David Robinson, but he is really having trouble down low.
There's another shot out of his chest, Pete.
Open jumper missed by Armstrong. Strickland on the run, trying to get the Spurs back to within 4, closing into the 7-minute mark.
See, they're not running hard. Robinson has Will Perdue playing, and he's got to run hard and make himself available on the break.
It still belongs to San Antonio. Here comes Sidney Green back into the game. Here comes Willie Anderson back into the game. Terry Cummings sits down. And Chicago's going to stop the clock here, calling a timeout with 7:01 to go. And the Bulls holding on to a 6-point lead. And here is tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. It's been a quiet night in the paint for David Robinson. The San Antonio team, he'll be beginning to look a little tired out here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and there's no reason for that, Pete. You know, they had the plane. They were in here last night back in the hotel in Chicago by 12:30. They did not work out today. Now, David Robinson is struggling, no doubt about it. He's only 4 for 9. The big thing is he's only had 9 shot attempts. We're talking about a guy who usually gets you 16 tries. We know that he's struggling on the foul line. But let's look at the San Antonio shooting. First half, 51%. Second half, they are 11 for 28.
And it's just been going down, down, down as this game has progressed. Of course, the Chicago defense has quite a bit to do with that. That's a dozen rebounds now for Will Perdue. He's had a big game. Michael. Pippen's jumper, no. Grabs the offensive board. Back to Pippen, back to Michael. Gets around Anderson, off the glass. Nope, rebound pulled away by Sidney Green, and San Antonio a chance to get back within 4 now.
Oh.
Pippen got a hand in.
See, that was a 4-on-2, and the Bulls were able to get back and force that ball out of bounds.
6.5 minutes to go. Willie Anderson's had a quiet night. 2 points. Has not scored since the first quarter.
To me, they should go down inside the box and get him a big basket here. They need a score here, and they're right back in this thing major league.
They're not going to get a shot away in time. 24-second clock violation. And the turnover, the 15th of the night for San Antonio, gives it back to Chicago. You can see the big drop-off in the second half by the Spurs. Good defense that time by the Spurs. Strickland on the run with Anderson. Pippen's back, so is Armstrong. Missed, and the rebound pulled away by Grant. Michael runs into Robinson. A little ragged on both ends right now.
See, Strickland has no one to break with him. Everyone else is, like you said, you made a good point, Pete. They're tired. If they're not tired, they're playing tired. Because the fast break chances are there.
And this time we're going to get a whistle against Chicago as they did try to get the ball down to David Robinson. Michael Jordan called for his third.
Now that's the 4th foul on the Bulls. I just looked at this. They're averaging 111 a game. They're the 4th in the league. Their field goal percentage are the only team in the league shooting over 50%. Their turnovers, they're right down in the bottom 3 in the league, and they've only been held under 100 twice.
And that's an amazing number. Golden State, Indiana sharing that honor with them. Robinson's going to try the outside jumper. That one wouldn't go for him either. There's Green with the rebound. The putback attempt no good. Rebound comes off to B.J. Armstrong. Bulls on the run. Scottie Pippen drifting, hits the jumper. He has 13. Chicago has that lead back up to 8 with 5 minutes to go.
They just keep coming off of Will Perdue's big body, Pete. I tell you, they've run so many defenders into Cartwright and Perdue tonight. It's amazing.
Phil Jackson getting right what he needed from Perdue tonight. He wanted to give Cartwright a little more time off tonight after heavy minutes last night. And he's been able to do that because Perdue's been performing like that. 13 rebounds for Will Perdue in the game. And win or lose tonight, Rod Strickland has been all over the place for San Antonio.
Will Perdue doing an excellent job keeping everything alive, even when they do miss off the offensive board. At the defensive board, he's doing a yeoman's job. That time, B.J. Armstrong, you know, when you got a 6'10" guy running, you cannot throw a pass behind him on the break.
There's the time remaining with San Antonio down by 8. They led by 9 at the half.
The clear side.
Robinson finally gets that outside jumper to fall for him. He has 14 in the night now. It's back to a 6-point game. Chicago trying to put the killing blow on the Spurs here in the latter portion of the 4th quarter. Can't quite do it. San Antonio staying alive. Paxson from outside. John Paxson in double figures now with 10. Back to an 8-point lead. That was not what we would call a pick and roll. That was a dribble handoff by Perdue, who flattened Paxson's man. San Antonio trying to get back to within 6. They post up Cummings on Grant. Pippen comes over to double team. Strickland in the paint over Perdue. Good move by Rod Strickland, who seemed to be aware that Perdue was there. He put a little more arch to that shot. He now has 15. And it's back to a 6-point game. Strickland has had a very solid game tonight, Pete. This time Perdue hands it off to Pippen. Willie Anderson's had his hands full with Michael Jordan.
When you have people who set good picks, good screens, like a Cartwright and a Perdue, their bodies, they're over 7 foot, they're 240 pounds, and your defender keeps smashing into those guys, and they have their forearms high. They ring your ears a few times, Peter.
We're in the fourth quarter, 92-86, Chicago leading it with 3:19 remaining in the game, and you can see how the Bulls have really turned it up a notch in the second half. They've held San Antonio just to 32 points since halftime.
Yeah, excellent defense, Pete. Not only the bad shooting percentage, but also forcing a turnover. But how about this? Point differential, we tell you, they're first in the league. Opponents' points per game under 100, and also field goal against. They're right there with 4, and then they're second in the league in rebounding. They do all of the fundamentals of the game. Excellent coaching, excellent preparation, and then players that can implement everything that we do.
Paxson has had a hot hand in this second half. He now has 12 points on the night. The lead back up to 8. And time beginning to work a little bit against San Antonio now. Closing in on 3 minutes.
San Antonio will be shooting the penalty on the next foul, so they've got to go strong.
Good move that time by David Robinson. He now has 16 points. It's back to a 6-point game.
That's the first time we've seen David go down in there and come out of there with that sweeping hook.
94-88 Chicago. Good ball movement. Goes back to Grant. Grant drawing a crowd. He travels. So that's at the San Antonio defense. Two very, very good defensive teams here tonight. San Antonio and Chicago. Two of the best in the league, in fact.
That time we had Strickland faking the double team, and Grant picked his dribble up quickly, but he shuffled his pivot foot.
You know, in playing on back-to-back nights, San Antonio on the second night has done quite well this year, 5-3, but the second night has not often been against a team like Chicago in their building. They haven't had to work this hard on a lot of those second nights, and they're still alive here. Sean Elliott with 14. It's a 4-point lead again. Still lots of time.
Sean Elliott is so beautiful down on that baseline, and if you run at him, he's one of the best at the league in that first big step to the basket.
Down to 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Pippen and his shot altered by Robinson. Perdue came away with only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Another attempt.
That was a prayer answered. Pippen gets his shot blocked. Who gets the rebound? Will Perdue. Who kicks it out? Will gives him a great pass right back. He shot that with 1 second on the shot clock.
14 rebounds for Perdue, 15 points for Pippen, and a 6-point lead for Chicago with 1:40 to go. Cummings against Grant. Nope, Robinson had a hand on it. Tipped out to Michael Jordan. And Jordan wisely will use some clock here. Will Perdue. Having one of his best games of his life. Timeout.
Let me show you. Scottie Pippen came off of Will Perdue here. And now the shot is blocked. Beautiful save by Perdue. He kicks out off the wrong foot. The clock is down to 1 second. Nothing but a field goal. Now this next pass, once again, a double team. Everyone forgets the big man. Will Perdue, going without the ball like he has done all night, has just had an outstanding evening. 12 points, 14 rebounds.
And that's one of the things you like to see. The guy is doing all the dirty work on the boards, getting rewarded with a chance for an easy 2, and he's open like that.
See, you underline that one and you say, great statement, Pete. And then that just goes to show you the confidence that they have that he'll make the catch and make the strong move. And it's also a credit to how well they pass the ball in traffic.
And by the way, was Michael Jordan's 10th assist to go along with his 29 points. David Robinson coming to life here in the fourth quarter, but it might be too late. 98-91 is the score now. 17 points on the night for Robinson. He has 11 rebounds and 3 blocks. See, you're seeing really why David Robinson is the kind of player he is. He really hasn't had that great a night, but his numbers still look pretty good. And Will Perdue got a nice hand as he sat down as Robinson hits both free throws.
But you see, they had that 5 to 6 minutes where the Bulls made their move. Now we're seeing a half-court trap here right now. It's a 1-2-2 trap by San Antonio, where David did not make some strong moves, but he put up about 3 or 4 very soft attempts.
1 minute to go, 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Bulls lead it by 6. Michael Jordan couldn't get the long jumper to go. Another offensive board by Armstrong.
There's that unsung guy again.
A fresh 24 on the clock. Grant has a dozen rebounds tonight.
This is great when you can let your small forward handle outside like this. Not only do you have Michael Jordan, that's a great one with the ball, but you also have Scottie Pippen, who can make things happen for you and go to the line and shoot 77%.
Sean Elliott called for his third. 98-92 with 42.1 seconds remaining. Chicago trying to go 32-5 and trying to go 18-2 at home as they try to make one more step toward what could be a 70-win season. Will Perdue back in, replacing Bobby Hansen.
Now, San Antonio, they only have 1 full timeout, no 20. They are not a three-point shooting team. They only average about 4 a game, plus they only shoot 28%.
An 8-point Chicago lead.
Smart, full court pressure, making them think.
Underneath to Robinson. They're not going to touch him under there now. They've got a safe enough lead. It's 194. Robinson now with 21 points.
You've got to go all out here for a trap. You foul, you know that they're in the penalty. The next foul on either team is the penalty.
Now 6 seconds left in the shutdown. Punctuation mark on this game.
You can see we were right in line with that. You can see that one open.
The Bulls are going to do it again as they continue to post the best record in the NBA, an incredible 32-5. The crowd on their feet here at Chicago Stadium as Chicago wins it 102-96.
When they hold teams under 100, the Chicago Bulls are 17-0.
A battle-weary Michael Jordan leaving the court, but boy, did he turn it up a notch in the second half.
He should. With the tongue out, you knew that he was flying. He was airborne on that one.
So the Bulls have won at 102-96. They are now 32-5. San Antonio 21-16. The Bulls have won 8 games in a row. We'll be back for more from Chicago, but right now back to our Atlanta studios. And here's Ernie Johnson.
Thank you, Pete Van Weeren and Hugh B. Brown. I tell you what, folks, if you like that matchup, you're going to like it again in a few days, in about 11 days, as a matter of fact, because Chicago and San Antonio play at Hemisphere Arena here on TNT on Tuesday the 28th. As is our custom here on TNT, on Friday nights, we give you the Friday night finishing touch. And you can call this one, I guess, Hail to the Chief. Robert Parrish in Boston tonight, cracking the 20,000-point plateau, working against Charles Shackelford. Nice soft touch on the fadeaway J. 16th player in NBA history to accomplish 20,000 points as Boston beat Philadelphia 98-95. At Indiana tonight, Orlando's Scott Skiles went wild. 41 points, a career high, as the Magic stopped Indiana 127-120. Of course, all the highlights come your way on Inside the NBA next with Hannah Storm. Also, Mark Price is right, and Hare Jordan. So many puns you'll be begging her to stop. That's Inside the NBA coming your way next here on TNT. You saw Chicago win over San Antonio 102-96 tonight. Again, they will play in a couple of weeks here on TNT. But player of the game comes your way next when we send it back to Pete and Hubie.
Well, there's your final. Chicago winning at 102-96 to up their record to 32-5. And, of course, the numbers that people are talking about is, can the Chicago Bulls post the all-time best regular season record? You see the Lakers of 71-72 won 69 games. 76ers a 68 victory season. The Celtics a couple of times over 65. Once with 68, once with 67. Phil Jackson told us the real key to that won't really be known until the All-Star break. We can look at the schedule right here. 8 of their next 11 games will be on the road, including games in Detroit, in San Antonio, in Houston, against the Lakers in Los Angeles, at Utah, and at Phoenix. That's a tough stretch of games for Chicago. He said he'd be satisfied going 500 during that stretch, but it's going to be a key to whether Chicago has a chance to win 70 games.
Yeah, well, you know, he's looking at it realistically, like a coach. You know, he's saying to himself, hey, he might want to rest guys during the course of the year. You never know if you're going to have a serious injury. He said, why can't we just wait until after the All-Star game before we start bringing up winning 70 games?
And you know what? If you don't win 70, 65's not bad.
No, not bad, right.
Well, let's take a look at our player of the game for tonight, and who else but a guy that has a whole mantle full of these awards, Michael Jordan. 102-96, the Bulls win it. Michael brought him back in the second half. He had a big night, 31 points, 10 assists, 3 rebounds, most of the damage coming in the second half.
Now we're going to show you a couple of replays. Here he comes. He splits the defense coming down inside. They were trying to trap in the corner. Michael sends it home beautifully. That was the one that airmailed this one in, and a definite win. Now, here's a nice drop-off. You must play Pippen off the dribble. See Michael taking it strong with the two hands. 24 points in the second half. He really came to life. And how about the 10 assists?
Yeah, great game for Michael Jordan. Great game for several of these Chicago Bulls, including Will Perdue, had one of the best games of his career with Chicago. Our next TV game here on TNT will be coming your way on Tuesday night out in the West Coast. From Portland will be the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers. Coming up next on TNT, Inside the NBA, a complete look at all of tonight's NBA action with Hannah Storm. For Hubie Brown, this is Pete Van Weer, and our final once again, the Chicago Bulls, their 8th win in a row, 102-96 over San Antonio. From Chicago Stadium, good night, everyone.